So we're starting off this year's episodes with a show that is near and dear to my heart. Like usually when I alienate one of these episodes to do on its own, it's because it's usually extremely cheesy and there's enough there for me to make fun of basically for a whole video. That's not a secret. I love these things, but a lot of them are unintentionally humorous. That's not the case with this one though, because this is one of the most underrated shows. People know about it, but I still don't think it gets enough attention and praise. That is Pete and Pete, one of my favorite shows of all time, a classic 90s Nickelodeon staple. The story of two brothers slash best friends and them facing trials and tribulations. The show is very ahead of its time. It's one of the most wholesome shows ever, but like without being lame. It's not like Seventh Heaven wholesome. It's just like practically void of cynicism, and it's all told from like the perspective of a kid when every little mundane event in your life is like this larger than life adventure with like the highest stakes. Like for example, a remote control car race between neighbors becomes like this huge tale of like espionage and betrayal.
That'll teach you to mess with my dad.
Or like a road trip becoming like a battle for supremacy between two dads for the like self-appointed title of King of the Road, stuff like that. And it's all done in a very self-aware, overly dramatic style. It's full of memorable characters and actors you know in early roles. One of the big ones is probably Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in peace, who plays Nona Meckelberg, and her father is played by Iggy Pop, which is hilarious because he's playing like a suburban dad in a sweater vest and is usually there just to make like a Stooges reference. But you've got Artie,
the strongest man in the world,
Mr. Tasty, of course Petunia,
Dance, señorita, dance.
a pivotal character in the show. The list goes on. And also, it's 90s as fuck. Early 90s specifically, it's like drenched in that MTV grunge era vibe. It has one of the best theme songs ever. It's a banger. And it was also just kind of like made by two dudes, very low budget. That comes across a lot in like the set decoration and props they use. You can tell somebody just made it with like plaster, cardboard, and acrylic paint. It looks like stuff you could make if you put the effort in. All that stuff gives it like this authenticity. And when I was a kid, I was enamored with this show. I thought Pete and Pete were about as cool as it got. And yeah, I wanted to live in this world that they lived in. But anyways, I could give this show a rub all day. I think if you haven't watched it, you should go watch it, no matter what your age is. I think the show's timeless. And you should also tell other people to go watch it, because it deserves attention. But today we're talking about the Halloween episode, of course. It is entitled Halloweenie. It sees Little Pete setting out to break the record set years ago for most houses trick-or-treated in one night in his town. But with the notorious pumpkin eaters wreaking havoc the night before.
They are the dark nights of Halloween.
Good buckets.
Nona Meckelberg's dad banned her from trick-or-treating, leaving Pete without a partner, and only his brother Big Pete can fill that void. But there's two problems. One, Pete has aged out, too old to be trick-or-treating. If he gets caught, he could be ostracized from society, much like Ned Richmond, who was outed last year for trick-or-treating and never recovered. The other problem is Big Pete is too old. He's reached an age this year where he's decided he doesn't like Halloween and he thinks it's for real weenies.
For me, it's the ultimate dork holiday. Halloween is for Halloweenies.
In fact, earlier that day, in a moment of pure primal compulsion, he smashed a pumpkin, an act that he and his best friend Ellen are trying their best to ignore. So will Big Pete be lured to the dark side, join the Pumpkin Eaters, and forsake Halloween forever? A betrayal to his little brother? Or will he remain loyal and selflessly help his brother set the record and become a legend? Do you see what I'm saying about the grandiose adventure thing? Everything plays out like a Greek epic. It's awesome. The show knows how to capture that imagination of a kid and apply it to something that happens in a kid's life routinely, like trick-or-treating. It takes you back to when you were a kid and you were about to go trick-or-treating, and it did feel like you were about to go have your own adventure. And everything is surrounded by this big mythos, like Ned Richmond, the kid who was forsaken from society, and this basically battle for Pete's soul between trick-or-treating with his brother and joining the Pumpkin Eaters. But it's also handling a lot of common problems kids face, like societal pressure, two friends growing apart, being true to yourself, all these things, all in a 20-minute kids show episode. And it's all done so well. It's also packed full of Halloweenie vibes. It opens on a pumpkin, which is a criteria I often point out. Rumor has it that the creators of the show caught a lot of flack for trashing this street while filming this show, but it paid off because the street is littered with costumed kids, candy thrown everywhere, smashed pumpkins, basically the aftermath left in the wake of the Pumpkin Eaters riding through town. Early on in the episode, there's a lot of emphasis on little Pete's passion for pumpkin carving. Another pretty common thing in the show is things people are doing subtly in the background as a scene plays out. A lot of times it's little Pete, and in this one, him and Nona are rigging up a jack-o'-lantern with a smoke machine using a dryer vent tube, and it ends in a spooky haunted house setting. So in terms of the episode, it's a 4-star banger. I think every episode pretty much is. This one most of all. It gets those Halloween episode points. But also just the camera work, the way this show is shot, can't go without mentioning that. There's a lot of scenes here when Pete smashes the pumpkin, and a lot of the shots feel like they're being watched, which fits the scene because Pete's about to do an unthinkable act in smashing the pumpkin. Little things like that really elevate the episode, the show in general. But yeah, in terms of Halloweeniness though, I should probably go back and look. I'm pretty sure I was doing Roseanne's, right? 4 out of 4 Roseanne's. If that's the case, I probably should have looked into that before I started recording this. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 4 out of 4 Roseanne's. And this one gets it. It's a classic, dude. Sometimes I watch this multiple times in one season. It's so good. I don't know. It would be great to throw on. It has all the atmosphere. It has a lot of the stock Nickelodeon spooky music playing in it.
You know you want to. You felt it yesterday.
It's got a great fall setting, all the decor you could want. It's a banger, and I highly recommend it. I'm sure a lot of these early 90s Nickelodeon episodes will get covered in this series eventually, and they'll pretty much all be positive reviews because, that's my jam. 90s Nickelodeon was my childhood, and for good reason. It was good shit. One of the many reasons I believe the 90s was the peak of humanity. But yeah, that's it. Go out and watch Pete and Pete. Have a good Halloween season. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.
Retro Crypt, the #1 purveyor of subhumanoid lifestyle products. Find clothing, home decor, collectibles, and more. Like this glow-in-the-dark Tales from the Crypt t-shirt, only $24.99. Or how about Toxie himself, 7 inches of superhuman size and strength for any shelf in your house, only $54.99. Or these Goosebumps magnets, featuring classic cover art from Jim Jacobus, starting at only $10.99. That's www.retrocryptco.com. Join us today, if you dare.